Hello and welcome to today's 4Ps podcast. Today I told you a couple of days ago, today's a special podcast for me today. As you know, my brother and my mother are from Brazil, Indiana. My grandparents are from Brazil, Indiana. I spent a lot of time in Brazil, Indiana, even went to school there for a short time after my parents separated. And this episode today is very special. We are going to go to Brazil, Indiana. We're going to talk to a person who really brings a level of pride to the city of Brazil. We'll be right back right after this.
Do you have the next big thing? That world-changing whatchamacallit? Do you have a story to tell? You need a show-stopping web presence. You need the web spinners at Webinit. With big picture solutions, spinning together SEO, stellar web design, blogging, podcasts, and social media integrations, you'll find yourself developing your latest and greatest thing, idea, or telling that next chapter in your story. Look us up today at Webinit.com, and remember, you're not everywhere unless you're Webinit.
When looking for personalized details on life insurance or retirement planning without the overly aggressive sales pitch, I'm your resource. I'm Mel Kay with LifeInsuranceSafeZone.com. I will expertly address those needs without the accompanying pressure, allowing you to make an informed decision in your own time, enabling you to retire with dignity and permitting your loved ones on possibly the worst day of their lives to mourn you free from financial worries. I'm at 805-300-1769.
Hello and welcome back to the 4Ps podcast. Back in 1983, and I know if you read my brother's book, You Can't Hurt Me, you will know that back in 1983, my mother and my father separated, and they separated for good in 1983. I was going into seventh grade. And I remember when I went into seventh grade, for some stupid reason, I thought that, hey, you know what? I think I'm going to join band. No, that was a bad move. But I did meet someone. It was a band teacher. He is the band teacher, or was the band teacher at, it used to be Brazil High School, and then it turned, there was a consolidation, and it turned into Northview High School. And then it turned into Northview High School in the mid-'80s. And he, the teacher that I had that was at Brazil, ended up teaching Northview High School, the consolidated school. He was a phenomenal band director. His name was Bob Medworth, and he brought a lot of pride to the city of Brazil, Indiana. Many championships, many state championships. He built a community of individuals. There are still people that were in the Northview band who I am still friends with, one of which literally I consider my younger brother. I can't say my baby brother. He's much bigger than me, way bigger than me. But I wouldn't tell him that because I still want him to think that I can beat him up. But his name was TJ McAfoose, and he is a fantastic individual. And like I said, he's like a brother to me. And his mother and father, they were literally like a second set of parents to me, and they still are like a second set of parents. I love them dearly. They are a fantastic individual, and you will see in my upcoming book, going along with the 4Ps of you in February, you will know just how much those two people mean to me. But when we come back, we are going to be talking to Bob Medworth and how he is now retired, but he has not stopped. We'll be right back right after this.
Want a financial detective who translates your money into clear insights and understands your vision? Meet Rose Knows Bookkeeping. Free up your time and get peace of mind with accurate, up-to-date finances. Let Rose handle the numbers while you focus on success. Contact Rose Knows Bookkeeping today.
Hey, 4Ps audience. First of all, I want to thank you for listening to the podcast, The 4 Ps of You. I thoroughly enjoy doing it, and I thoroughly enjoy the feedback I get from listeners. I hope you enjoy the stories and the guests that come on this program all the time. And if you do enjoy the guests and the stories that come on this program, you will absolutely enjoy my book, The 4 Ps of You. The 4 Ps of You are a collection of stories dealing with purpose, planning, passion, and persistence. These stories are there to guide you through your journey to see exactly what you want in life. The 4 Ps of You is available on all forums. You can get it on Amazon. You can get it Barnes & Noble. You can get it on Google Play. You can get it on Apple. You can get it anywhere you buy books. You can get it in paperback or you can get it in e-form. Please, that's the 4 Ps of You. Get it. Would love to have you read it, and continue to thank you for listening to the 4 Ps podcast with Trunis Goggins. Welcome back. My short time, everybody knows my brother, David Goggins. Matter of fact, this podcast, today's episode is actually dedicated to his story called Never Finish. I did a little spin on Never Finish, as I said in the first segment. My brother graduated high school in Brazil, Indiana. Northview High School was the name of the high school. I went there for a year and a half. I went to Northview High School. I graduated from Williamsville East High School, so he's a knight and I'm a flame. But I will say there were some people that made a great impact on my life at both high schools, one of which is I have today. His name is Bob Medworth. He is the band director at Northview High School. One thing I will say about the differences between the two high schools that I went to, the emphasis on music and band, especially marching band, was not as big where I graduated in Williamsville, New York, but it was there was a great deal of pride in the marching band in Brazil, Indiana. And I'm going to say that a lot of that pride and a lot of that legacy belongs to the man who I have here today. His name is Bob Medworth. Bob, welcome to the program.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Good to go. Now, this is about Never Finish. Everybody knows that I'm an old, crusty man. I am now 53 years old and already doing all like the 5-year colonoscopies and all that other stuff. But so people probably think that, you know what, Bob is probably an old guy. And that's not the case at all. But you are retired. The reason why we say Never Finish, you're doing something very unique. Tell us what you're doing.
Well, I have about 5 part-time jobs that all turn into full-time jobs. One of my biggest ones, most interesting, I guess, at the moment, is I work for a travel company out of Indianapolis that has been around since the early 80s, late 70s. And they started out back then specializing in music trips for bands and choirs and orchestra. And we traveled with them for years at Northview, and they've expanded now, and they're doing trips all over the world. So I'm one of their many tour directors, and I get to take groups on trips to a lot of great places.
Fantastic. And so you are still in the band industry. I don't know. I don't want to use the industry, but I'm going to use that word for lack of a better word. It's a driving passion for you. What made you start, I know you've been in music for eons, but what made you start? What drives your passion? Let's put it that way.
Well, first of all, I can't sit on the couch. I retired. I may have retired a year or two early. The pressure, as you know, we built a monster at Northview High School, and sustaining it was beginning to get to me mentally, I think, more than anything. It becomes ever more costly every year and challenging. But I enjoy helping people. I like being with people. I like working on projects. And so just about all of my involvement with the travel company or the drum corps or anything I do, it's that whole thing about being part of a group is better than being a solo act. And I think deep down, I like seeing Well, I know I do. I love seeing kids and people experience new things and maybe in the process get better at it and have a better life because of it, if that makes any sense.
Mm-hmm. You know, I sports and band, any extracurricular activity at school really helps a lot of people out. And I know firsthand people that have that you have been involved in their life, and they were in band. One of my dearest friends, and I will say his name on the podcast. Never have said his name on the podcast before, but I will now. This guy, I'm close to him as like a brother. He is absolutely like a brother to me, and his parents are like second parents to me. That is TJ McAfoos. He's a fantastic individual. I remember when I was in Brazil, Indiana, and I'm going off on a tangent a little bit. I was new to Brazil, Indiana, and the first person that came and said hi to me was TJ, and he invited me over to his house, and we've been hanging out ever since. But going on, there are other people that I know firsthand that you have touched their lives in a positive way. And not only did you teach them in band or drill or whatever, you also went on, and I see that you actually taught their children. I have been in education for 15 years now, and I have not gotten to that point where I have taught people's children. And being in a college atmosphere, I probably, it's very rare that I will. What's that feeling to actually literally contribute to generations of people's success?
Well, it's really rewarding. It's, because you think back to having those people in the band, and you made enough of an impact on them that now they're encouraging their kids to follow in their footsteps, and you see those kids contribute. That warms you up. It makes you feel great. We did a show in 2016, we did a marching band show that basically traced, our little theme for that 8-minute show was to trace the history of the activity. So we started out doing a very regimental down the field move, and then it evolved, and the music evolved, the type of drill evolved, electronics were added, all those things. And we tried to end the show then at the state of the art of what it is now. Well, in the process then, it was great to see all the parents step out and say, yeah, I still have my jacket, sweatshirt. And the last week of the season, all those parents, everyone in the community was showing up at practice saying, yeah, I was in band and now my kid's in band, or my parents were band boosters and I was. It's rewarding to see it become part of their life, because obviously I really believe in the power of music, color guard, band, choir, orchestra, whatever it is. And so it's great to see that passed on. Of note, a neighboring school, Avon High School, just won the national championship in color guard, came in third the next week in percussion, and then also won the national championship in indoor marching for the spring. So
Wow.
of the three major championships available in the spring, Avon won 2 of them.
Mm-hmm.
And here's the kicker. The superintendent at Avon is a former trumpet at Northview. And the other night, we talked yesterday, and when one of their groups arrived home the other night, he said he was standing on the sidewalk to clap for the buses that they pulled in, and he was standing next to 3 former Northview band and guard members who now have kids in the Avon band. So that was really cool for me.
That is absolutely cool. And, it's funny how I was just thinking when you said that, how, and I'm not going to say Bill Belichick because his coaching tree is awful. Oh, my God, it is awful. But you had people like Shanahan and back in the day you had Seifert and definitely Bill Walsh. Back in the day, they had Walsh. I'm sorry, Bill Walsh. They had the coaching trees, and they talk about how all these great coaches come from this one person. Now you can actually say there's the Medworth band director tree that now is like building all these championships throughout the world. So that is or throughout the state at least. That is an awesome thing. This thing's about never finish. The whole podcast theme is about never finish. you have been band directing. Like I said, I graduated high school 35 years ago, and wow, I'm old, but 35 years ago, and you were actually a band director before that. Now you are still dealing with bands, and you're still doing things in the music field for young people. Do you see yourself, now you're now decades, 4 decades at least into this, do you see yourself ever saying, I'm done?
Uh, no, I don't. Sorry for coughing there.
That's
no,
okay.
I don't. I turn 70 next month, and I'm kind of proud of the fact that I'm still going, and I'm going to spend the whole month of June running around a football field helping a national powerhouse drum corps, because it's fun to help kids. It's fun to see them get better. I think I have the ability, God-given ability, to not only teach them the right notes and the right steps, but also I can find a way to relate that to being a better human, and how hard work will conquer a lot, and getting along with each other, and all those things that we preach every day. Yes, I think I see that as a challenge, but I also think, that's a little bit of a gift that God's given me. And like I said before, I'm not going to be using that if I'm sitting on the couch watching reruns of Law and Order.
Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And yeah, you don't need to watch Law and Order anyway. If you want to watch reruns, watch Night Court. Definitely watch Night Court. That's the great. I still watch that. Bob, thank you so much for being on the program. Again, like I said, never finish. Never stop what you're doing. Bob Medworth is a definite living example of that. Once you're finished, when you finish, you should be like being buried. That's when you finish. But and I love that. Do not sit on the couch and do not watch Law and Order. But you can take 30 minutes. Actually, if you have it on Prime, Amazon Prime, it's 22 minutes, and you can watch Night Court.
Yeah, there you go.
There you go. We'll be right back after this. Hello to the greatest podcast family on the planet, or audience, whichever way you want to call yourself. This is Trunis Goggins, your host of the 4 Ps podcast, and also author of the book, The 4 Ps of You. I will be in Johnson City, Tennessee, and that is on September the 14th. That is this coming, well, not this Saturday, but the Saturday after. I will be in Johnson City, Tennessee. I will be signing books at the Barnes & Noble at that location, the Johnson City location. I will then be in Orlando, Florida, and I'll be there September 19th and 20th at the NAMI conference in Orlando. I will be signing books. If you are at that conference, if you are in the Orlando, Florida area, please go. That is going to be the 19th and 20th of September. Then the following week, I will be up in Canada. I will be back in the area that I love. I love this area. It is the Niagara region. Love it to death. Oh, Niagara region and the GTA. I'm sorry, the GTA, the Greater Toronto area. And I will be up there at the Word on the Street book fair, and that is going to be the 28th and 29th. Now, here's how that's going to work. On the 28th, from 8 in the morning till about 10:30, I will be at Word on the Street in Toronto. Then from 1 to 4, I will be down at the Chapters Books at the new Fairfield Mall, or Fairview Mall, excuse me, in St. Catharines, Ontario. From 1 to 4, I'll be signing books there. If you are in that area, please come see me. I will be 45 minutes from Buffalo, New York when I'm down there. Please, love to see friends and family from south of the border come see me. It's great. I know that there are a couple of Swiss Chalet restaurants real close by. After that, we can go to Swiss Chalet, get some good rotisserie chicken. Their sauce is to die for. I know everybody's like sitting there going, anybody anywhere else in the world is probably sitting there, what am I talking about? But Swiss Chalet, it is, it is just delicious. I love their food. And when you leave, you eat a lot, but you just don't feel like full, because it's like rotisserie chicken and really, really good. It's just good. It's just really good. And then on Sunday, the 29th, I will be back in the city of Toronto at the Word on the Street book fair, and I will be finishing off that time there. I'm really absolutely totally looking forward to my time in that area. Then I will be back in Indiana. I will be back in Plainfield, Indiana at Perry Crossing, and they have a Barnes & Noble there. I will be signing books at Barnes & Noble. And while I'm on here, I would like to thank Barnes & Noble for their support that they have given me. They are just, it's a beautiful thing that Barnes & Noble has done for my book and for myself, and just being accommodating to my audience. I absolutely appreciate it. I will be right back with more of our 4Ps podcast.
Do you have the next big thing? That world-changing whatchamacallit? Do you have a story to tell? You need a show-stopping web presence. You need the web spinners at Webinet. With big picture solutions, spinning together SEO, stellar web design, blogging, podcasts, and social media integrations, you'll find yourself developing your latest and greatest thing, idea, or telling that next chapter in your story. Look us up today at webinet.com, and remember, you're not everywhere unless you're Webinet.
Hello and welcome to the final segment of the 4Ps podcast. Again, I would like to thank Mr. Bob Medworth for being on this program. He really does keep Brazil marching on. He absolutely does. And what he's doing after the fact, he is still working with Northview bands and bands throughout, I would say, the Midwest. I was almost going to say just central Indiana, but it isn't. It's all over the place. And he is definitely serving his purpose and taking care of Brazil. He's taking care of children and young adults who really want to succeed. Like I told you before, I did try out band for a short period of time, and you know what? It was a failure. I did not do well in it, but I will say this right now. The class that I did take with Mr. Medworth, it was a class where I learned a lot of discipline and applied some of the things that I learned in that class to go out and do the things that I am doing today. And that is for sure. It does take, anytime you want anything and anytime you want to achieve anything, it does take a great deal of discipline. It takes a great deal of passion to achieve what you want to achieve. You know, Brazil, Indiana is always going to have a special place in my heart. I learned a lot in Brazil, Indiana. I still have a great number of friends in Brazil, Indiana. Two people that, actually three. One is somebody who was actually in band. His name is TJ McAfoose. He is definitely like a brother to me. He lives in that area still. He lives in the Brazil, Terre Haute area. And also his parents. His parents are just, they're wonderful. They're beautiful people. I do consider them a second set of parents, and they were in my life at a very, very important time. And they taught me what family could be. I know you've read the book, Can't Hurt Me. If you have read the book, Can't Hurt Me, you may know that family to me was, my definition of family up until I got about 12 years old was a little different than most people out there. And I'm glad that I had Linda and Rod McAfoose in my life to teach me that there is a different type of family. And though I tried few times to create the same type of family. Maybe not so much all the way, but they did have a great influence on my life, as they did. They just had a great influence on my life. We will be back next week. And when we're back next week, you know, I'm going to get out of memory lane. We're going to go back across the pond. We're going to go to Australia again. Guy by the name of Jason Dunn. He has a book called Unlimited. He is a outstanding individual. What he has done, what he has overcome, what he has become as far as success is concerned, something I definitely want you to listen to, is going to be on the program next week. And you're going to love it. He's going to be the first podcast that we have next week, and it'll be aired next Monday. stay tuned for that. Talk to you next week. Bye-bye.